Wolfchase Toyota Insider of the Memphis Tiger Network. I'm Jeff Brightwell alongside Lee Taylor Walker. And Coach, another great season for your program. Wrapped it up in the semifinals of the conference championships. But overall this year, a really good season and a nice run. Now you get yourself set up for the NCAAs.
Yeah, it was great. We obviously had hopes of winning the conference, but went down to the last match and lost a close one to Tulsa again. But they're a great team, and our conference was just really strong this year. It's the strongest conference USA women's tennis has ever been, and so the good thing of that is we're going to end up getting 3 teams in, and I feel like we're prepared for postseason.
Times we started doing these shows, that was the point where you started trying to build a foundation for the program and get it to this point so it could be an at-large, a championship caliber team go to the NCAAs, and it seems like it's been a long time since then. But going into the year, I know you had high hopes. Sometimes those high hopes don't always convert, but it looks like it's going to pay off this year.
No, it is. It's there's been several teams do the same thing in our conference. SMU, Tulane, Tulsa, Rice. They've got solid programs, and so we've had to do it just to be in the mix in our conference. We've had to improve and get better. So we really are ready, though, to make a good run. And I believe, just like at the beginning of the season, you never know. You can't plan it out. You don't know when your team's going to get hot or cold. And so we've got a win over a top 15 team, another top 20 team. And so I think that, with the healthy competition through our regular season, really gives us a lot of confidence to really, our expectations are to hopefully get through these first 2 rounds.
When you talk about expectations, when you talk about kind of fulfilling potential, the players at some point have to really trust the process, and that goes back a few years. But can you pinpoint a spot where you notice these players are really invested, they're trusting the process of building the blocks?
Yeah, well, I've talked a lot with Courtney the last couple of weeks just because, it's her senior year and she's going to be wrapping up her career. But you have, her and Kelly have really been able to see what it was like 4 years ago and make that transition. And you need really just 1 or 2 girls to make that transition. And once they do, that kind of rubs off on everybody. So, I think for Courtney, it came probably last year when she beat the former NCAA champion at Georgia. I think I saw her act a lot different. She carried herself a lot different on the court ever since then, and I think that rubbed off on our team. And then this year, you could point to a number of situations. Lisa winning the Dick Vitale tournament in November, where she beat 3 members of Florida's national championship team. And so those moments still bring a lot of belief amongst everybody. And then, this year was probably the first year that's just like 1 through 8, we have a deep team. And so, somebody can be off and our team still be successful. And so, all those moments, in fact, this week I've been trying to look back and get a lot of that stuff on paper for the girls to see. And I'm going to give them a handout tomorrow just so they can go back and look through it. Look at what you've accomplished the last couple of years, the last couple of months, to just be reminded that, hey, we don't have to play at this unbelievable level that we've never played at before. If you guys can just compete at the level you've already proven you can, we can go all the way.
And putting those together, is there one match or one segment of the season that you pinpoint yourself where you thought to yourself, okay, this team's going to be able to fulfill its potential and get to the postseason?
Well, I think one came in a loss and one came in a victory. I mean, the loss against Tulsa at the beginning of the year in January was really hard. It didn't even cross our minds we would lose to them. We respect them a lot. They're a great team. But in that moment in January at National Indoors, we were just very convinced that we were a stronger team and better. And after we lost that match, I saw the team react differently than how we did last year. We lost some tight 4-3 matches last year where it was more of the way they reacted, it wasn't really a team reacting that wanted to be determined to overcome this last year. Mm-hmm. And this year, just watching them react, almost every girl was upset, in tears, they're huddling up, and they just looked more determined to use that to motivate them. And so they went into the next 3 or 4 weeks and worked harder than ever. And we ended up beating Kansas State, Columbia, and then I guess the one win that would really solidify that belief was over Virginia, who's, ranked 13th in the country right now and went on a pretty big winning streak throughout the ACC. They beat the number 1 team in the nation. They beat another top 10 team in the nation. So that win over Virginia obviously made everybody look at each other and go, okay, hey, like we can do anything this year. And so I'd say those 2 matches really stand out in my mind.
Well, you've put yourself in good position. At the time we tape this show, the NCAA selection show is going to be later that night. You can go to GoTigersGo.com. You can find out all the official information about who you're going to play, where you're going to be. But tennis is kind of unique because between the NCAA and when you wrapped up the Conference USA Championships, you had a little bit of time away. You don't go immediately into postseason play.
Right.
What do you do with those few weeks? How do you balance training too much to training too little?
Yeah, well, we gave them a couple days off, close to a week off, getting final exams time, let their bodies recuperate, let them get refreshed. And then really just make a couple short-term goals, things they want to sharpen in their game to get ready, and then try to keep a pretty normal routine. Since we have the objective results on paper that says we can do this, I don't want to panic or them to panic and feel like we've got to come up 20 levels in order to compete. I mean, really, we just need to sharpen a few things up and maintain. So we're sticking pretty close to our normal schedule and a little bit more individual work. But other than that, yeah, everything's the same. Obviously, it'll be different. We're having the selection show, and it's going to be a lot of excitement and going to NCAAs. But what I told the girls yesterday was we've done this 4 times already this year. It's a road trip. We've got 2 matches on the weekend, and that's what we have. So try to normalize it as much as we can.
Well, Coach, congratulations on a great season. We look forward to following your progress in the NCAA.
Thanks a lot.
That is Lee Taylor Walker. I'm Jeff Brightwell for the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network.